Yesterday was Memorial Day, but we're still being patriotic, so that explains the background for this month. What is up today, guys? Today, it's another, Full Sail experience talk here. I'm going to tell you everything I went through this month, give you all the struggles, give you the lowdown, everything like that. This is for month 5, the big 5. I'm going to do this, because if I do this, that makes a good thumbnail. I can just go through and take a screenshot and boom. I say this just about every time I do this. I have 2 prerequisite classes that I already took before going to Full Sail. So my month 5 will likely be your month 7 if you didn't already have classes done. Keep that in mind. And this is for the computer animation degree program from Full Sail University. My month 5, likely your month 7. We good? Let's get into this. So what class was it? This was the class called MCR, Model Creation. And honestly, guys, throughout the whole month, I never figured out what the R meant. Still don't know. Maybe it's Model Creation References, Model Creation Resources, Model Creation... But yeah, I don't know what it means. But that's okay. We don't need to know. Class is done. I'm gonna go and pull up my work here on the computer. It's probably gonna be up here in the corner at some point in the video, and that's okay. So I'm just gonna give you guys the lowdown of everything that happened and just share my experience with you. That's what we're gonna do. Alrighty guys, so let's go ahead and get into this. What can we expect this month? There are 9 total assignments, okay? And each week is broken down like this. There's your practice assignment, and then there's your assignment. Your practice assignment, the instructor does with you during the lecture. That way, if you just follow along, your practice assignment will get done super quick, easy. You can turn it in and boom, it's done. Cool. Now your actual assignment for like the weeks is 1 assignment for the entire month. You're just kind of building on it. So here's what they do. They give you this They give you this Maya-Scene file, and I will pull it up real quick. Waiting for Maya to open. Hey, so this is the file that they give you. It's basically just an empty room, and they call it a medieval scene because the kind of props that you're going to be making will be medieval related. And I can go and turn on textures for you. They do have it textured so you can see the floor, you can see the woodwork, and all that good stuff. So overall, it's a pretty cool scene. And throughout the month, you're just going to be filling up this scene with props. We're making models and we're going to throw it in the scene, and at the end it's going to be a fairly full environment. So that's cool. So week 1, you were just going to make 4 large props. He gave you 3 things that you had to make, and then 1 that you just got to choose. And he gave you a whole file of reference images, and you had to choose 4 of those. So let's see what I made. The 3 things that you had to make: table, chair, I believe a shelving unit, and then you got to choose some picture from the reference folder that he gave you as your 4th object. They all had to be large objects just to fill up the room. It helps make it look full. So what did I make? You guys already saw this one, but I made a chest, boom. He wants you to build it in parts, so everything here is a part. And if I grab my little move tool, you can see things just come apart. Easy. And the great thing is, once you make 1 knob like that, just duplicate it a bunch of times, and it is built in parts. That's going to be a pretty big factor in your grade here, as well as everything has a bevel. So that's what they're looking for. It's just that. Okay, we're going to move on to the next object. The next object that I made was the table. Boom, there it is. And lastly, guys, we have over here the shelving unit. I didn't do so hot on this guy for the simple fact that I forgot to build it in parts. So I built this entire thing as 1 part, whereas it should have been like 5 or 6 parts. I made it as 1. That brought the grade down. That's week 1. You gotta make 4 large props. Week 2, you have to do a still life. My still life was this. You guys already saw this telescope. Cool. But the other things I made were these. Ah, dang it. Okay, so I made this dagger. That's pretty cool. I got 100% on that guy. And the other one I made for this week 2 still life was a crown. And for all the objects that you see I have here, all of these I did not pick out. These were all in the reference images folder that it gives you. You can choose any of the objects in the folder as long as what you're making comes from that folder. Otherwise, if you make it, he's not going to care. So that's that. You can't go on Google and find your own special dagger you want to make. You gotta choose the dagger he gives you. And he gives you like 4 different daggers. You choose whichever one you want to make. Oh, also in week 2, you had to UV map it. So that took a while. Then if you put the UV mapping on top, that blows the whole thing to pieces. Definitely manage your time well. Week 3. Week 3 was another still life, and he asked if you put one still life on the table, you can either move it to a shelving unit or whatever else you made and put your week 3 still life on the table, or just put your week 3 still life on the shelf. So that's what I did. So let's look at it. Boom, week 3. Now you guys didn't see any Maya making videos for this week just because I didn't feel like any of them really deserved a time lapse, because they're not my best work, you know? So I felt like it's just not worthy of its own video. So what did I make? I made this candle here. Pretty rockin'. In this week, he shows you deformers. Deformers are pretty cool. You get to bend things, you get to twist, you get to extrude along a curve. So it's just pretty cool. In this week, you will be able to model a whole lot faster. So that's a pretty big benefit. What else did I make? I made this knife. And as you can see here, I used one of the deformers for this area. He shows you exactly, or basically exactly how to make this knife in the go-to training lecture. So there's that. I made this globe. Whoa, not just that piece. I made this globe. Globe here got a 100%. Rocking it. Week 3 is exactly like week 2, so once again we had to UV. Impress the teacher and be awesome. So let's do that. Let's put in some extra hours, hard work, and let's go. It didn't work. I chose a shield because I was like, oh my goodness, this eagle pattern looks awesome, and once I paint it in Substance Painter, it's gonna look even cooler, and it's just gonna be so awesome. It'll be rocking. That didn't work out for me. I worked from Tuesday night to Saturday at 9 p.m. Everything is due Sunday at midnight. And I just couldn't get this shield done. So Tuesday night and Saturday at 9 p.m., I was only about halfway done with this shield. I said, I won't be able to get this shield done, let alone a second object, let alone UV map both and paint them. So I decided to cram 2 objects, painting, UV mapping, and all that good stuff into 24 hours, 8 of which those hours I had to go to work. So there's that. So I scrapped the shield idea, and I just picked 2 random objects, the first 2 that I could find in the folder. So the first one that I found was this vase here. Now, granted, I don't think I did a bad job modeling this vase. It looks pretty cool. And then of course you had to UV it. Easy. The second thing that I modeled was this wine barrel. Unfortunately, it doesn't really match up with the reference image that I had, but I rushed it and I was making this thing at 2 a.m. And of course, you gotta UV it. Easy. Easy-ish. And then I had to take both of those things and put them in Substance Painter, paint them, render them out, and then take a render of the front 3/4 and the back 3/4 of each object, so 4 pictures, and put each object together in Photoshop. So front 3/4 of the vase, back 3/4 of the vase in one picture. And then the same for the wine barrel. The vase does not look a bit like the real vase that he gave me in the reference image, nor does the wine barrel. The barrel itself, if you only look at my model, it looks cool. But if you look at it compared to what it's supposed to look like, it's a mess. It does not look like what it should be, and I am quite ashamed of that, honestly. Let me just show you what the overall thing was gonna relatively look like, and then I'll talk about some other details of the class. So at the end, you're gonna have a fairly full scene. You're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7. You're gonna have 8 models that are UV'd. You're gonna have 12 models total. And it's just gonna be rocking. Everything's gonna be nice and full and very cool. So it's gonna look like this. We're gonna get into some other details of the class now, and then I'll just give my opinions on it. A few of my models weren't up to par, so some weeks I got 91, some weeks I got 95s. I haven't gotten my grade for the 4th week yet, but based on the work that I did, I don't expect it to even be in the 80s. It was a terrible week, it hit me, and hopefully this was a learning experience for me. I'm gonna go hard on all my other assignments, start as soon as possible. As soon as this video is done, actually, I'm doing homework. And yeah, let this be a warning to you. Do not slack at all, because you're gonna end up right where I did. Good thing is though, I slacked off. I didn't slack off. I worked hard on that sheet. The fire that's gonna launch me. It's gonna launch me into space, and I'm gonna be awesome. So hopefully that's what the case is. There are extra points possible in this class. It's not extra credit, like you're not gonna get 105%, but extra points are possible. If you make extra models and do extra UVing, you can get extra points. Now, like, let's say the 3 models you did for your week 2 still life, you got a 95 on it. But if you make a 4th model UV it, you might get a 96, 97. You might get some extra points added. I never had any time to do any of that. Most of the time I had time to do the bare minimum, which is unfortunate, honestly. But I'm not gonna let that happen anymore. I've already talked about how I got very little sleep. This past week, actually, for week 4, I went 72 hours and only was running on 9 hours of sleep. So there's that. This is a second job that you're working. No room for slacking off. I tried to get out of work, like real work, at Sam's Club. I tried to get out of work so that I could do this work. That didn't happen, unfortunately. This is a second job. You're going to be spending 28 to 35 hours of work on this per week. That's per week. So don't slack off. Now, you can't work ahead because there aren't pre-recorded lectures that they give you. My lectures were Mondays at 6 p.m. So there's that. They typically lasted an hour and a half to 2 hours in that area. Okay, so I made this mistake. It was a Tuesday night. It was like 9:40. I like going to bed at 10. I just get more sleep that way. Doesn't happen most of the time. Definitely didn't happen this month. But I was like, 20 minutes before I want to go to bed, I can't do anything. Wrong. Definitely take those 20 minutes. You're going to want every single minute you can get. And I don't care if you even just make your project folder and throw your reference image in there. You still got work done, and when you wake up the next day, you're not going to have to start completely clean. You're going to have that base already set up, and you can just hop in and model. Do that. Do that. Take every 20 minutes you can and go. At work, I get 15 minute breaks and a 30-minute lunch. Every single break, every single lunch, I worked on homework. Do that. Take every minute you can. That's what I'm just trying to say there. So the reference images, I may have touched upon this, I forget. They're not set up on plane fields like they were in 3DF. So you're just gonna have to look at your picture, try to line it up as best you can, and try to make a model based on that one picture. There's no grids in the background showing you the scale. There's none of that. They're trying to teach you to use your eye, your artist eye, and make a model that way. Real quick, I'm gonna touch upon how I feel the instructor did. He teaches you great modeling methods, like the hole in the chair, the little, I don't know, 3-leaf clover thing. I wouldn't have been able to do that without this teacher, this instructor, whatever you want to call him. He teaches you very cool modeling methods. He teaches you ways that you can build models that I definitely wouldn't have been able to build in 3DF. The only problem with this professor that I had is that, like in week 4, we were in Substance Painter. he was showing us the vase he made, and he showed you a whole bunch of tools that you can use, but the problem is he would just tell you a few things and not show you how to do them exactly. I don't know if he wanted us to figure it out or was how to use stencils, but he didn't, and he just told us that he used a stencil. I was lost. I didn't know how to use a stencil. I didn't even know where the stencils were. I'm not saying that he needs to baby us, but if it's something that we can use, I would have really preferred him show us how he does something rather than just telling us. For me, I'm someone that learns through watching how to do it and then duplicating it, and then I can apply it to whatever I want to do. But if you just tell me how to do something, I'm gonna be more lost than someone stranded on an island. That's just that. That's just how I work. You might be different. You might love this professor. He's definitely awesome. He made great work. He showed us a dinosaur that he made, and it looked awesome. He clearly knows what he's doing. He's a great professor. He seems really nice. I never personally talked to him or anything, but he seems like a great guy. I just feel like he didn't explain everything as far in detail or teach us as much as he probably could have. And then lastly, guys, Substance Painter. I've already talked about it, but this is a new program that you'll be learning in this class. It is super fun. It's basically Photoshop, but with textures, and it's just awesome. If you love Photoshop, you're gonna love Substance Painter. If you love modeling, you're gonna love Substance Painter. Substance Painter is what I've been waiting for, because I've just been making these gray models, but it's fun to see them look like what they're relatively supposed to look like. It's very cool, and you can do a whole lot with this. So in short, what can you expect? Let's go over this. You can expect to make a minimum of 8 props. Minimum. You can make more for extra points, but you're never going to go past 100%. You can expect 1 class per week. Mondays, probably at 6, maybe. I don't really know. Mine was at 6. I don't know what yours is going to be at. If you did this class like me, you can expect to not sleep. But if you are good and you manage time well, you'll be fine. They want you to build the models exactly as they are. Build it in parts, build it as it's built. Build it like it's built. I think that's what they've been saying ever since 3DF. You can expect to work a whole bunch of hours, about an average of 30 per project. And lastly, you can expect to learn a brand new program, Substance Painter, in week 4. And that's awesome. So that's probably gonna bring us to the end of this video. The next class I'm taking, I believe, is Project and Portfolio 1. I've already kind of read through the course overview and it seems awesome. I'm not gonna let what happened in this last week of MCR happen to me in Project and Portfolio 1. So we're gonna kick it. We're gonna kick it like it's old school, back in the good times, and we're gonna go hard on this homework, and we're just gonna have an awesome time. And I'm gonna probably time lapse a bunch of what I'm doing and post it on the old YouTube. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. I'm going to the zoo on Thursday. That'll be fun. So I need to get some homework done today. I think that's it. Oh, no, here it is. If you guys follow me on Facebook, like, of course, subscribe here because you guys are awesome. If you go over to the Facebook page of Tetrad Art of Jacob Feasel, not The Art of Jacob Feasel, for some reason I just couldn't get that one to work. Tetrad Art of Jacob Feasel, and like the page, you will get notifications of when I post new videos. You will see pictures of models I make before I get them uploaded to YouTube. You get that inside look. It's a preview, and you can get to know me a little bit better. We can chat back and forth. If you have any questions, I help you the best I can, and we can just go from there. Like, I made this box on Tuesday of this past week, a week ago today. People have seen it since Tuesday, but you haven't seen it just yet because you're not on Facebook. Like it if you get the chance and you think about it, and I guess I will see you guys next month. I'm going to try to upload a video a week. It seems to be working. It worked this month. So yeah, I'm going to upload a video a week. That's my goal. I don't know if it's going to be school related, if it's going to be something else related. I'm definitely still working on that Disney drawing. It's just trying to find time to work on it. School's first. School's always first. Put school first every time. So yeah, that's it for this one, guys. I will have another video like this for you guys in a month. And that's it. So like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. See you guys later. I messed up my